Hello Galactic family. Transcript. Antoine, welcome everybody to a new Cobra interview. So today we are doing a joint interview between me and Patrick Shi from Prepare for Change team of Taiwan. We are working to reunite all the groups worldwide, and have them working together so we can have a network that can work together for the event. So joint interviews like this are part of this effort. I was very impressed by the Prepare for Change teams in Asia. They are very organized and motivated, they do a lot of great work, so I think it will be very interesting to hear questions from their point of view. So welcome Patrick. Patrick, good day ladies and gentlemen, my name is Patrick. I am a translator of Taiwan Prepare for Change group, and it's really an honor for me to be the first Taiwanese host for a Cobra interview, so welcome Cobra and Antoine. Cobra, thank you, thank you. Thank you peace. So Cobra, I want to start with some situation update, shall we? Okay, have we successfully closed the negative plasma portal in Congo during ascension meditations? Okay, this was one assistance, but there were also many other actions of the light forces that have managed to stabilize the situation there, so the attempts of the Khmer group to reactivate the portal was not successful. Okay. Sometimes people will say they feel not comfortable, they feel sick, and they say well probably it's because of ascension symptoms. But I wonder whether this term ascension symptom really exists, or it is really about attacks by negative forces? Sometimes there are symptoms of transformation because the body needs to adjust to new frequency, and sometimes yes, there are scalar attacks also, so both is happening. So is there a way to identify which one I'm getting? Usually the scalar attacks are very unpleasant, the ascension symptoms, or shall we say frequency adjustment symptoms, are different, they are not so negative, they are not pressuring you down, they are just adjustment. But scalar are usually very unpleasant. Related 12 things you should know about scalar weapons. So, very unpleasant, can you give some examples of such unpleasantness? They can influence your body functions, heart rate, they can trigger strange sensations in the body, they can trigger very intense negative emotions, they can trigger headaches. This is just a few of the symptoms that can happen as a result of scalar attacks. Okay, thank you. So my next question is there any occult reason behind the territorial dispute in the South China Sea? It is simply that the dark forces want to have a trigger, they want to create a war, but I would say the whole situation is not significant because they will not be able to do it. Okay, Antoine, it's your turn. Antoine, I have a question about the Khmer Empire around Cambodia. What was their role in history and how did they disappear? Okay, you need to have a little bit more specific question. Were they more positive, or mixed? It was a mixed civilization. There were many tribes, some of them had, I would say, quite much connection with the reptilian forces, but there was also, I would say, a Khmer Renaissance where there was quite much development in art, and certain, I would say, priests and priestesses in the Khmer Empire were channeling goddess presence. Okay, and how did they disappear? There were many ways. There was a lot of conflict in that area and there was an agenda of certain forces from the Cabal to erase them from the planet. How about the stars? We've talked before about Antares and Aldebaran, which is like a portal between the central sun and the earth, and in ancient traditions there were 4 stars, one in Leo called Regulus and one near Aquarius called Fomalhaut. Can you talk about this axis between Leo and Aquarius? What's its role in the galaxy? This is another axis because the Antares-Aldebaran axis is a different axis. Actually all those axes are filaments of plasma in the galactic body, that allow hyperdimensional travel throughout the galaxy. And both filaments that you have just mentioned are two of the main galactic highways, and the one called Antares Aldebaran filament is actually crossing very close to the solar system. This is why this planet is such a highly prized real estate in the galaxy. And is there beings living in planets orbiting around these stars? See, yes, of course. Okay. Will the physical aspect of the galactic pulse reach us at a set date, or can it be delayed? See, it is being delayed already because the galaxy is a living organism and the galactic pulse is timed according to the level of consciousness on this planet, so it can be delayed a little bit. You saw the physical particles that were launched by the central sun about 25,000 years ago. Where are they now? See, this is another wave. Actually, the physical particles that are reaching us now are part of the previous wave. The physical particles which will be triggered at this particular wave will not travel at the speed of light. They will travel at almost infinite speed because they will be tachyons. And when the veil is removed, those physical particles will reach us at the same time as the non-physical ones. Okay? In Russia, in Siberia, there were a lot of sinkholes discovered. What is causing this? See, many of the sinkholes are the activity of the resistance movement. This is one way to awaken the surface population. Okay? There is a new form of astrology that they call sidereal, where supposedly they use the actual position of the constellations for this present moment. How accurate would you say this is? See, it depends on the person interpreting it, and the accuracy of the model, because there are very different models of sidereal astrology. Some of them are more exact, some of them are less. You need to understand that astrology is a symbolic model, and its accuracy depends a lot on the person interpreting it. Okay? Would you say that the usual mainstream position of the stars that are used in astrology now are still relevant today? See, yes, of course they are, because even if you use Western astrology, the relative position of the stars and the planets remain the same. So we are actually getting the same resonance pattern for in most cases. And what is important is that resonance pattern which creates interference waves in plasma that influence the solar system and the Earth. Okay, thank you, Patrick. Okay, Cobra, now I want to switch topic to some Earth history. First one is, can you make a timeline sequence among Jurassic Age, Atlantis, and the Stone Age? See, okay, what you are calling Jurassic Age was hundreds of millions of years ago. It had nothing to do with Atlantis. The Atlantis as we know has started maybe 1 million years ago, and what most people are describing as Atlantis is only the last fraction of Atlantean history, which is maybe 10 or 20,000 years ago. In the Stone Age? See, the Stone Age actually started with the deluge of Atlantis about 12,000 years ago and ended about 5,000 years ago with another mass cataclysm. Okay, the next question is, why did the ancient people build a pyramid complex in Xi'an in China? See, all pyramid complexes including this one have a purpose of anchoring the light from the star systems in the energy grid around the planet. Okay. The next question, in New Age circle, George Washington is known as an ascended being. If he was truly an ascended being, how could he work so publicly that he worked with other people to create a new country inside quarantine Earth? See, he was not ascended at that time, he's ascended now. So he's ascended after he passed away? See, sometime after his mission was complete on this planet. Okay. What is the relationship between the resistance movement and Tim Berners-Lee, the so-called inventor of World Wide Web? See, I would not go in much details here, but I would say he was assisted by the resistance in a certain way. P. Did the Sisterhood of the Rose inspire Joan of Arc to protect France? C. Yes. P.O.K. Untwine. When people in meditation have a vision or feeling that they are in contact with positive ET, would this be something that can really be happening on their etheric, astral or mental bodies? C. Yes. Sometimes yes. So these positive ET, they can be present inside the veil to a certain degree? C. Yes, they can be, especially now since the breakthroughs this summer. This is happening much more. It was happening before to a certain degree, but now it's much easier and it's much more effective. In 1999, when many souls were evacuated by the light forces out of quarantine, were some souls belonging to the Order of the Star evacuated also? C. Yes. What is the astrological meaning of some newly discovered planets around the Kuiper belt, like Eris or Sedna? C.O.K. Eris is, yes, I can answer this question. Eris is anchoring the energy of the resistance movement. Sedna is anchoring the energy of very intense breakthrough, in exposing whatever has been denied, especially things that have been suppressed with implants. Okay? How accurate would you say are the maps of Earth that are available to us at this time, like Google Maps? C. Very reliable. In Google Sky there are some quite large areas of constellations that are masked. What are they hiding? C. I would not agree with that statement. There are certain areas which are masked, but they are not very large. Okay, and why are they masked? C. Sometimes they are hiding certain objects and sometimes they are hiding spacecrafts. What kind of objects, like planets or? C. One of them is Planet 10, and also other objects which are not meant to be discovered. Most of them are inside of the solar system. Okay? What happened with the capstones of the Giza pyramids? C. Yeah, they were stolen by the Cabal. Where are they now? C. They are now in a certain, I would say, bunker that still belongs to the Cabal, and they are one of the sources of their power. Can you say in which country this bunker is? C. I would say that this is in the state that is called Vatican. And what is this capstone made of, what material? C. It is made of quartz crystal and gold plated. So it's solid gold on the surface. Okay, Patrick? Okay, Cobra. Now I want to switch questions, regarding to Bible. The first question is, what is the real purpose of Judah, in Jesus' Apostle Mandala? See, actually the whole story has been distorted to a great degree, to reinforce the concept of guilt, because the archons wanted to create as much guilt as possible. So the whole story did not happen as it is represented in the Gospels. Okay, so he's not a traitor? See, there was no traitor. Okay, see, the whole thing was engineered. Alright. Is the Star of Bethlehem in fact a mothership? See, Star of Bethlehem. Okay, this was a Jupiter-Venus conjunction which was quite close, and both planets were quite bright in the sky. Okay. In the book of Revelation, we can often see where it says like 4 horsemen, and 7 seals. Angels open the 7 seals and then boom, lots of disaster. I wonder what they truly mean? See, the 7 seals are the 7 layers of the veil, and the disaster which happens is the clearing of the dark forces, which is happening now. So we're actually experiencing this right now. And the 4 horsemen? See, 4 horsemen are actually 4 elements, fire, earth, water and air. They are 4 cardinal points in the horoscope. They are different symbologies which anchor those energies in the apocalypse, and the right combination of those 4 elements triggers the transmutation process, and clearing of the suppressed darkness which is happening now. Okay. The next question is, what on earth happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? See, it was a nuclear war long time ago. Is it related to the fall of Atlantis? See, it was later actually. POK. What is the real birthday of Jesus? See, according to various sources, the real birthday is somewhere in March. Antoine. OK, how do the plasma bodies of various beings and planets in the solar system relate to the octopus? Are they inside it or? See, actually the octopus is engulfing all the bodies in the solar system to a certain degree, and this is more pronounced in planet Earth, and also quite pronounced in Saturn. So you could say that our plasma bodies are part of the octopus, or inside the octopus? See, inside, we are living inside of the octopus. You OK? Is there a plan for the star seeds, after the event, to reintegrate the Galactic Confederation faster than the general population since they were part of it before? See, yes, of course. You OK? Can you explain what was behind the story of the Iron Mask, with the Musketeers? See, actually, Iron Mask is one of the symbols of Illuminati, and the purpose of this was to introduce part of the Illuminati symbology in the mass population. And was there an actual event involving somebody locked in a cell with an iron mask? See, there were many situations like this in the Middle Ages, not just one, and also later during 17th and 18th centuries, quite much of this was happening. You OK? Do the resistance movement agents that are infiltrated on the surface get implants like we do? See, not to the same degree because they have much more support and they rarely stay long on the surface. You OK? And so when they're underground they don't get it at all. See, underground the influence is very minimal. You OK? What type of activity is happening around the central sun right now in terms of beings? Are there many beings gathering around it? See, the central sun is always quite busy. There is a lot of traffic, a lot of things going on there, and this is still happening now. So all these beings who are visiting it, what kind of things are they doing there? See, it is mostly for very advanced spiritual evolution. You OK, Patrick? OK, Cobra. Now, I want to ask some questions about worldwide mythology. The first one is, what is the origin of giants? See, there were many giant races, most of them are humanoid, that were living here throughout the history of this planet, and most of those races came from other star systems. One of the most known races came from the Sirius star system. When we read stories about ancient giants, they are often referred as the creators of this world. For example, we have frost giant Ymir in Nordic mythology, Titans in Greek and Roman mythology, and Pango in Chinese mythology. Do you have any insight about these gigantic beings? See, OK, many of those giant races belong to so-called Central Civilization, and yes, they were assisting in the situation on planet Earth as well. In the stories, these giants are often referred as antagonists. They are bad guys, they are big and they are evil, and sometimes they just don't have good manners. See, yes, not all of the giants were part of the positive races, some of them were not. As I have said, they came from various star systems. POK. Snakes are often antagonists in mythology. For example, Thor dies in this final battle against Midgard's serpent. Zeus had an epic fight against Typhon. Susanoo, the Japanese deity, kills Yamada Orochi, known as Eight-Headed Serpent. So what is the original story behind these battles between gods and snakes? See, this is the same as now, the galactic war between the, I would say, the light forces and the dark forces, which were mostly Draco-reptilian serpent beings. POK. What is the relationship between Excalibur the sword, and Excalibur the mothership? See, actually Excalibur is just the code name for the mothership. The actual name of the mothership is different, but it is being called Excalibur by certain small percentage of ground crew that actually on the soul level belong to that mothership. POK. So can you give some insight about Gilgamesh, the first demigod here on Earth? See, I would not say he was the first, but I would say that his story is quite well known. So what is the exact question? P. So he's not the first demigod hero. C. No, he is not, but he is, I would say, the first one that is well known because archaeologists are able to acknowledge that part of human history which was later than 3000 years BC, everything that is earlier is too much for them at this moment. P. Yeah, and about his story, he went to pursue eternal life by hunting a serpent, but the snake got away and only left the skin. Do you know the true origin of this part of the story? See, it is just one symbolic representation of the transformation of the snake. You need to understand that the snake symbol was not always negative. There were many different aspects of that symbol. On one side snake represents the reptilian race and on the other side the snake represents the Kundalini, the life force. So sometimes those symbols were deliberately mixed by the Cabal to create confusion. P. So actually Gilgamesh wanted to have eternal life by training his Kundalini? See, exactly, Gilgamesh wanted to have eternal life. Actually he was searching for his ascension. POK. Antoine, what was the event that turned some places on Earth into deserts, from the Sahara all the way to Gobi? COK. What happened were drastic climate changes because of various factors. One of them was increased activity from the galactic central sun, and there was a river, flowing through what is now Sahara Desert, which is now underground, and that river disappeared, and because of that the whole climate and ecosystem in that area has changed, about I would say 8,000 years ago. And what was before dense vegetation turned into a desert. What was the mission of Zoroaster and what's his role now? See, his mission was to, I would say, bring more light and to bring one aspect of enlightenment to the surface population, and his role is still the same. So he's an ascended being now. See, yes, okay. Is there any non-star seed human that is awakened at this point? See, not in the same way, not to the same degree, but there is a certain amount of native Earth population that is quite aware of what is going on, in their own way. So you said that the dark forces were building layers upon layers of quarantine, during the last 25,000 years. See, yes, were the light forces interfering with that process? See, as much as possible. Okay. You said also that the Ascended Masters ascended before 1996, so it's difficult for them to understand how life is here now after 1996, with the increased implants. How about the 8 people who ascended after 1996, can they help them understand? See, yes, of course they can help, but you need to also understand that this particular group that ascended did not have an average life. They were isolated in a community, with very little contact with the outside world, so, I would say they had shielded existence. They were not living in a large city, or struggling for their survival as most people are. How long after 1996 did they ascend? See, at this point this is still classified information. Okay, Patrick? Okay, Cobra. Now I want to ask some questions about urban myths. The first question, was Taiwan part of Lemuria? If yes, is there any geological evidence to support this fact? See, it was, I would say, on the outskirts of Lemuria, and there is geological evidence in the whole Pacific basin of the large-scale submergence, not exactly in Taiwan, but you have a very easy way of recognizing this on the strain between Indian mainland and Sri Lanka. There is, I would say, a submerged underwater bridge that has been part of the surface not so long time ago. POK. Are we living in a holographic universe? See, no. not in the way that some people interpret it. We are living in a multidimensional universe. Yes, it is holographic in the way that a small fragment of the universe represents the whole, but we are not living in a holographic universe in the sense that the whole universe is an illusion. Okay, the next question is, why must crop circles appear in the West, especially Avebury in England? See, there is a very, I would say, strong energy vortex in that part of England, which allows manifestation of the Pleiadian ships that create those crop circles. Yeah, I have never seen any crop circle, a genuine one, in Taiwan or in China. See, they are happening, but they are not as frequent as in England. Yeah, okay, the next question is, what is the purpose of the Nazca lines? See, it is actually part of the, I would say, a landing strip for certain civilizations many thousands of years ago. Like an airfield for a mothership? See, something of that nature. Yes. Okay. I've seen Master Yoda so many times in your posts. Does Yoda truly exist, or does he represent any kind of archetype? See, it's an archetype. Yes. What kind of? See, an archetype of a wise being that, with his wisdom, can overcome, and I would say counteract, all plans of the dark forces. Okay. Why are archons so allergic to goddess energy? See, it is because the goddess energy represents whatever they don't want to be represented. Actually, the goddess energy has the power to transmute all darkness into the light, and it will transmute all darkness into the light, so this is why they don't want it. Antoine, you said that the Nazca lines were landing strips for some ancient civilization. Is it the same case for Chaco Canyon in New Mexico? See, this was a different story, but yes, it involves also extraterrestrial involvement in that part of the world, in that particular case. Okay? Who is Rama from the old Indian legends? See, I would say one of the heroes from very high spiritual beings from late Atlantis. Where are the main Agarthan cities in Europe? See, some of them are under large cities, of course below the surface of London, Paris, below the surface of Munich, and some of them are high below the surface in the Alps. In recent conference you talked about some kind of frontier or border that was created underground by the dark forces to block passage between the eastern and western Agarthan network. See, yes, what's the nature of this barrier and is it still active now? See, it is a physical barrier which still exists, unfortunately, to a certain degree, and its location is, okay, I would not say its location, but I would say that it still, to a certain quite great degree, prevents the flow of information and contact between the eastern and western Agarthan networks. It is not completely airtight, but there is still a lot of interference and danger in that area. There was an extraterrestrial contact that was called the WOW signal. Who sent this? See, I have to disappoint, it was not a genuine extraterrestrial signal, it had other sources. Can you say what was its source? See, cabal activities, it was not a genuine AT signal. Okay? What's the low pitches hum that are often heard in Taos, New Mexico? See, this is part of the infrasound experiments, and New Mexico was part of the location of many underground bases and also a lot of experimentation with scalar weapons, and Taos, New Mexico is very close to certain, I would say, military laboratories where they are testing scalar weaponries, so this is one of those locations, unfortunately. What was behind the story of the creature in the Loch Ness? See, yes, there was a creature living there. There are actually many creatures living on the surface of the planet which are not officially recognized. Is this some kind of dinosaur heritage or something else? See, something similar, Patrick. Okay, Cobra, now, I want to ask some questions about post-event life. Many light workers are expecting prosperity funds and their cut of the Saint Germain Trust. I wonder how will the resistance movement distribute such funding to people who have multiple bank accounts, or people who don't have any account? See, well, this is not a problem. For people who have more bank accounts, they can distribute wherever people wish. If they don't have a bank account, there are other ways to distribute this. Some of them will be direct physical contact. There are many ways to do it. It's not that difficult. It is just a matter of logistics, so it is not a big problem at all. POK. Do light forces have any urban renewal plan for casino cities such as Las Vegas and Macau? See, yes, of course they have plans. P. What kind of plans? See, the plans are to, actually it will be part of the global restructuring of urban centers. It will be more aligned with sacred geometry and it will be a gradual process. This will take some time. It's not immediate, I would say a number one priority, but those changes in infrastructure will happen first gradually, then it will accelerate quite drastically. POK. Can people continue to practice martial arts or firearm shooting after the event? See, people who will practice martial art which have spiritual basis will sometimes be inclined to continue. People who are using firearms to train to aim will be able to use them, but there will be no more violent purpose behind this. POK. Should we register Prepare for Change as a global organization sometime after the event? See, you don't need to register this anywhere. The purpose of Prepare for Change is to be efficient in the situations before the event. So, after the event? See, after the event there will be, I would say, a change in the purpose of Prepare for Change. It will be part of the new infrastructure, to assist in the transformation of the planet. POK. Got it. Do you know how the resistance movement on Planet 10 treated those Illuminati slave masters right after they liberated their planet? See, they were processed in the same way the Cabal will be processed on planet Earth at the event, and many of them went into the central sun. So the Earth is about to go through the same process, right? See, yes, exactly. Antoine, you said that there are ascended masters retreats in Antarctica. Is there any specific master that is present there? See, mostly masters that don't have direct mission with humanity, but mostly with planet Earth global situation with the energy grid, and with other things that are not exactly related directly with humanity. Can you name some of these masters, or are they not known? See, they are not known to the surface population. Okay, thank you. So we're done now. See, okay, very good. Thank you very much, Cobra P. Thank you, Cobra C. Okay, thank you very much.